Hello and welcome you back to Neachara Polytechnic video lecture classes. I am your faculty Dipankar Ghosh. In my previous videos already we completed chapter number 1 and chapter number 2. Let's start with the third chapter, which is named as your ignition and suspension system. As per this, let's see the first article, which is named as your battery ignition system. That means your description of battery ignition system with working principle. So let's start today's class. The main parts of the battery ignition systems are in this today's videos. We will go through the advantages, disadvantages of battery ignition system. This battery ignition system is extensively used in modern automobiles. Almost all passenger cars, heavy trucks, light trucks, motorcycles, all are used in this battery ignition system. So what are the main parts of the battery ignition system? These are the first battery, and this is the very essential item is known as your battery. In this here, the battery is the storage of the electrical energy, and which is recharged by your dynamo. That means it converts the chemical energy of the chemical energy into your electrical energy. And two types of battery we are using, that is one your dry cell, another one is your wet cell. So the next component in battery ignition system is known as your ignition coil, and that is connected to the ignition coil. So this ignition switch is we are using for the connectivity. Then when we switch on this, it will directly connect it to the battery. Then the next component is here your ballast resistors, and this ballast it used for the overheating purpose. That means it is a safety purpose to regulate the current in primary winding, prevent injury due to overheating of the ignition coil. It controls the current passes through the primary winding. So it is having a resistor. Then we are using a ignition coil. Okay, this is very essential element, which is, and it is the main component of the battery ignition system. The purpose of ignition coil is to step up the battery voltage, which is having 6 or 12 volt. Either we are using a 6 volt battery or we are using a 12 volt battery to a high voltage. This magnetic core or core software, we are having the primary, and it having two types of it is having two windings. In the battery ignition system, ignition coil store the energy in from magnetic field and deliver it at the instant of ignition in form of high voltage and current, which high tension wire to connect the spark plug. The diagram of the 4-cylinder battery ignition coil. This is the diagram of 4-cylinder battery ignition system. So how it is using? Let us discuss about how it is work actually. First, low voltage current flows from the battery to the primary coil through ignition coil, through the ignition coil switch and the ballast resistors. Then the ballast resistor regulates the temperature of the ignition coil by regulating current passing through from it. The ignition capacitor connects the parallel with contact breaker. One end of the secondary winding is also grounded through the contact breaker. When the ignition switch is closed, the primary winding of the coil is connected to the positive terminal and current flows through it, known as primary circuit. The current flows from the battery primary coil produce a magnetic field which induces an EMF in the secondary coil. The cam regulates the contact breaker. Whenever the breaker open, the current flows into condenser, which charge the condenser. As the condenser becomes charged, the primary current falls and the magnetic field collapses. this will induce a much higher voltage in the condenser. Now, the condenser discharges into battery, which reserve the direction of the both primary current and magnetic field. This will induce a very high EMF in the secondary winding. Now, through voltage EMF produce spark at correct spark plug through a distributor. So, this one is the function of this now here. This one, as per your course is concerned, this is a diagram of battery ignition system which is used in 4-cylinder inline engine. So, here we can say the spark which is generated as a 321 or 1342. That means whenever this current is sent here, then only the spark is generated in the respective spark plugs, so that to create the ignition. So, what is the function of this? Because the spark plug we are using for the spark plug what we are using, this is to generate the spark which is inside the engine to fulfill the requirement of the combustion. Now, let us discuss some advantages of this battery ignition system. The advantages are, at the time of starting or low speed, good spark is available. Advantage number 2, the battery which is used to generate spark can be used to light or other auxiliary like headlight, tail light, etc. That means the battery can be used in multi-purpose. Number 3, initial expenditure is less and it has low maintenance cost, because we know the life of a battery is maybe 3 to 4 years. Then number 4, ignition system is not affected by adjusting spark timing in battery ignition system. These are the 4 advantages. Now let us discuss about the disadvantages. Time available of built up the current and stored energy is discharged as speed of engine increases. Number 2, contact breaker subjected to both electrical and mechanical wear, which results short maintenance interval. Number 3, the primary voltage decreases as the engine speed increases. So, it is not fully reliable of high speed engines. So, this is all about your battery ignition system. Thank you.